Mr. Dingell.
Mr. Chairman, instead of addressing what this committee should be doing, we should be figuring out what are the problems and then to proceed to address them. We've had 733 cases, 53 deaths, 15 deaths in Michigan, the highest number of cases and the deaths, and we're dealing here with an agency that doesn't have the authority to do the things that it needs to do. Section 503 exempts compounded drugs from three critical requirements of FDA. First of all, they don't have to comply with good manufacturing practices. And if you look what happened up in New England, you'll find they weren't even within rock-throwing distance of good manufacturing practices. And so they have no authority to address these things as new drugs. They really have questionable, if any, authority to address these people as manufacturers, and there's no requirement that these things have directions for proper use. In addition to this, these people who have vigorously opposed any kind of control have not only gotten themselves statutory exemption, but they don't even have to report adverse consequences of the use of their pharmaceuticals. And here we sit picking nits about what did Food and Drug know and when did they know it. This committee should be saying, what authority do you need? And then saying, by golly, we're going to get it for you. Now, let me ask you a few questions, Madam Administrator. You've said that you don't have sufficient authority to regulate these people. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes. Now, since the fungal meningitis outbreak, FDA has inspected compounding pharmacies that are known to have produced sterile drugs in the past. Is this correct?
That is correct.
Can you explain briefly what the Food and Drug Administration found during these inspections?
We have found serious lapses in sterility procedures, insufficient ventilation.
I want you to submit that for the record, if you please. Now, was Food and Drug granted full access to all of the identified compounding pharmacies for inspection? Yes or no?
No.
Will you submit to us what it was that they did to deny you that access? Now, was Food and Drug granted full access to records by all of the identified compounding pharmacies during inspection?
No.
Did you encounter resistance from any of the identifying compounding pharmacies when Food and Drug arrived for inspection?
Questioning of our authority, yes.
All right. Now, would you please submit for the record what actually happened to you in these cases where they refused you access to the records? Now, Madam Administrator, even in the light of the fungal meningitis outbreak, with 53 deaths and over 700 confirmed cases, some of these compounding pharmacies refused to grant you access to their facility or records for inspection. Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you need inspection authority to effectively regulate compounding pharmacies? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you believe that the states are able or have carried out their responsibilities fully on these matters?
It's very variable, but no, not in their entirety.
Okay. Do you believe that FDA has clear authority to access all records when inspecting a compounding pharmacy? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you believe that FDA has clear authority to access all records when inspecting a compounding pharmacy? Yes or no?
No.
Has FDA faced litigation regarding its ability to inspect records in pharmacies?
Yes, we have.
Do you need this authority to effectively regulate compounding pharmacies?
Yes.
Would these authorities help FDA to enter a compounding pharmacy without delay to conduct proactive inspections?
Yes.
Would these authorities assist FDA in preventing future outbreaks?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, I want to make some observations here. This committee has an important responsibility. Our responsibility is to find out if the laws are being properly enforced and if there is additional law that is needed to make the situation better. We are having people who have been killed. We can anticipate if we don't do something more, there's going to be more. The Democratic members on this committee have sent to the leadership of this committee a request to bring in the trade association of these people to discuss what it is they're doing and why and when and how. They have refused to assist and cooperate with Food and Drug. They have gone further, and they have instructed their members as how to obfuscate, delay, and to refuse to comply. We have a nasty situation on our hands. Let's get down to addressing the problem that is before us. Let's haul the right people in. Let's get the right kind of legislation drafted. Let's get the proper testimony, and let's move forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, gentlemen. By the way, Chairman Dingell has asked for a number of documents for the record, and at the last hearing in November, a number of members also asked for documents. We haven't received those yet, so I'd like to expect those records by the 19th of April to have answers to those questions.
The 19th of April.
For the record.